Good morning. Welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Tuesday, August 4th. Let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps, which are trading higher by 0.34%. Nice move, strong move higher. It's being supported by this, latest round of corporate earnings, which is really boosting the market sentiment. There's some positive news out of the Middle East. The point is President Trump and Iran are offering sharp contrasts in terms of whether potential peace talks are actually occurring or not. And that really did contribute to a rebound that we saw in oil prices, but that just changed. Secretary of State Scott Bessent just came out and said that a deal for opening the Strait of Hormuz may come today or tomorrow. So, because of that, we just saw oil turn around from being up like 2.5% this morning to actually now it's trading lower. On the economic front today, the key report coming out is the international trade in goods and services. In corporate news, McDonald's reports Q2 global comparable sales up 1.3%. That's positive. WMB to acquire Momentum Midstream in a deal valued at $5.5 billion. Apple's pushing back on UK regulators to deliver a backdoor for encrypted data sets. SpaceX is going to be releasing earnings this afternoon. First time as a public company. On the earnings front, what do we have? We got gains in Palantir, On Semiconductor, Merck, Apollo, Pfizer, and Clorox. After the bell today, we got the earnings coming out from SpaceX, AMD, ANET, Amgen, and Gilead. And then tomorrow morning, there's more earnings out as well. In terms of the global markets, we're taking a look at Germany. And, hey, German markets are at the high. It's up 0.84% or 219 points. We're seeing positive action in banks, defense, and big tech shares. Hit the tape this morning. The FTSE's higher by 0.48%, and it's really benefiting from strong gains in mining stocks. The CAC in Paris is now up 0.37%. It was lower due to weakness in luxury goods, but industrial and big tech shares are moving higher and helping that index. And then you look last night in Asia, and you saw that the Nikkei moved higher by 0.32%, with tech showing some gains, while consumer and financial stocks weakened. The recent yen intervention is creating a little bit of a concern for that economy as it's export driven. And then you get the Hong Kong, which finished lower by 0.6% with weakness in big tech and financial stocks. China, on the other hand, gained 0.33% with positive action tech shares outweighing the weakness in financial stocks. And then we look at oil, and oil is, the story this morning, because you got WTI at $76.94, down 4.23%. You got Brent at $80.96, down 3.35%. Really, it's due to Scott Bessent saying that a deal to open up the Strait of Hormuz could be reached today or tomorrow. That's hugely positive. Supplies are constrained. Demand remains there. There are lower exports from Persia, from the Persian Gulf. So, if you can open up that strait, that would really help out, and that would push oil prices lower. But remember, today, after the bell, you get the API estimates, and tomorrow you get the EIA data. Let's move on into earnings, and let's talk about Palantir, PLTR. That was our stock of the day on Friday, I just want to point out. We wanted it to, because we knew earnings were coming out Monday after the close, and we felt they were going to be good. But, Palantir beat by 6 cents. It did it on higher revenue. We made the 1% on Friday, and today the stock's up another 15.28%. Wow, nice beat. And then you got Merck, which is also trading higher this morning. Stock's up a little over 1%. They beat by 12 cents on higher revenue. Pfizer, another drug stock, they beat by 12 cents on higher revenue. Stock just turned lower. It's now down, about 0.1%. Big Cat, Caterpillar. Listen, they beat by $1.97. They did it on higher revenue. Stock's up 11.34%. Remember, Caterpillar is being treated like an AI stock because they're building the data centers. You need their trucks to build these data centers. So yeah, action is positive, and it's got room to move. It could, easily go back over 1,000. McDonald's, ticker MCD, trading higher again this morning. Listen, it's having a good run. The fact of the matter is, it's up about 1%. They beat by 6 cents, although it was done on lower revenue. But Mickey D's trading in the green this morning. After the bell, we got SpaceX, SPCX, EPSs for a loss of 26 cents. Expected move is 16%. AMD is also releasing after the earnings. EPS is $1.61. Expected move is 8.92%. We'll have to wait and see how that comes out. In terms of economic reports, international trade in goods and services at 8:30 a.m. 10 a.m. we get the factory orders, and at 10 a.m. we also get the first of a host of employment reports with the JOLTS reports due out. So, tomorrow you get the ADP data, Thursday you get the jobless claims, and Friday, of course, is the non-farms payroll report. Okay, now we're moving into stocks in the tape. Apple, UK regulators asking for a backdoor into its encrypted data. Apple's pushing back. Amazon, Google, Meta, Citi says its consensus underestimates AI revenues and returns. The White House set to meet the deadline to create a voluntary framework for evaluating advanced AI models. And guess what? Executives from Meta are going to be at the White House today to discuss AI safety testing. That could be something. In terms of Tesla, July, China made EV sales rose by 37.8% year over year, positive. In terms of Dow Jones 30 stocks, Nike's taking a hit, NKE, due to a downgrade by a major broker this morning. Cat, positive earnings, treated like an AI stock for now. Boeing got certification. That stock's trading higher. It's up a little over $2 again today. In terms of guidance news, Palantir raised its full year 2026 revenue view to $8.15 billion to $8.158 billion. Street estimates at 7.72. That's a big uptick. Merck, on the other hand, cut their full year 2026 EPS view to 266 to 276. Street estimates at 276, so that's kind of a downtick. On Semiconductor sees Q3 EPS coming in 81 cents to 93 cents. Street estimates at 84. That's a bit of an uptick. In terms of buybacks, Broadridge, BR, their board authorized a $1.5 billion share repurchasing program. AMAT added to a 30-day upside catalyst watch at Citi. Okay, let's move to a pick of the day. I'm going to go with BorgWarner because I think it's a safety play a little bit. Earnings are due out tomorrow morning, which is going to be the catalyst. EPS is $1.26, and the expected move is 10.72%. Yesterday's call volume was 468 to 282. That's a 0.6 put to call ratio. That's positive. Open interest is 19,342 to 13,508. That's positive. Major brokers raising price targets. Got it like that. But for a price target, I'm going to say 61.75. It's kind of hard. It's not a high flyer like some of the tech names, but I do think 61.75 is a possibly good solid entry point. So let's keep an eye out for that. All right, that's my pick of the day, BorgWarner. Okay, let's move on and let's talk about the hot stories that are hitting the tape in the last 15 minutes. So see if we see anything exciting. Joby, J-O-B-Y, Adams forms a strategic partnership to build U.S. vertiports network. Abiva gets a FDA approval for Botox cosmetic. Interesting. Anthropic links a $10 billion computing deal with a new cloud startup, Volta. Of course, the big news is Percent saying we could have a deal with Iran today or tomorrow. Pfizer announced expansion of productivity enhancement initiatives. ADM, Archer Daniels, says it's on track to achieve 500 to 750 million cost savings, which was their target. Trump says he's not happy with oil company profits. And that's because they make it on a percentage basis. That's all I'm seeing this morning. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about yesterday's pick of the day, which was Cisco, SYY. Listen, if you look at the stock, I mean, it hit the 1%, that's for sure. I mean, the fact of the matter is, it opened up at $85.43 and fell to $81.80. Now, it closed at $84.98. Now, we called an entry price of $83.50, so it did hit. And, you look at the stock this morning, it just traded $85.18. So, and the bid offer is $85 to $85.80. So, with an entry price of $83.50, yeah, that definitely beats the 1%. So we've got to be happy. SYY was a winner in yesterday's action, and because it was an earnings play. Earnings were good. So that concludes today's NewsWare's Trade Talk podcast, traders. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green.